Crawford, Canelo, who you got?
Crawford, Canelo. I still say Canelo.
I got Canelo too.
I still say Canelo. Ring IQ, I believe that Crawford has a bit more.
Yep.
However, it's just the size difference. I think that where Crawford is lacking is that he should test the waters even with somebody at that weight class before facing Canelo. But hey, they say he's a dog. He's got shot in the head and drove to the hospital, so maybe that's just his mentality.
But I think you gotta lean more towards Canelo because, like I said before, he been putting big guys out and down. And Canelo not even really a 68 pounder. He probably really should be at 60 maybe. And he been hurting these guys. I think he be dropping these guys and things like that. So, and them guys be way bigger than him come fight night. I know that for sure. They be probably close to 200 pounds, and he dropping those guys like that. So, I don't know. It's gonna be a great fight. The fans want to see it. So, so be it.
Just a few days after his fight with Canelo was made official, Terence Crawford has received warnings from a long list of boxing professionals to cancel the fight against Canelo Alvarez as soon as he can and take a tune-up fight first. Canelo Alvarez's legendary trainer Eddie Reynoso was one of the first to warn Terence Crawford of his fighter, as he boldly predicted a knockout victory for his fighter.
Now, big fight September. Canelo Alvarez, the face of boxing against Crawford. What's your prediction?
Vamos a ganar por nocaut.
What round?
En el que sea, pero lo vamos a noquear esta vez.
What round did he say?
Whatever round, but they're gonna win by knockout.
Crawford?
Despite being the undisputed middleweight champion, Alvarez's lackluster performance against William Skull in early May raised questions about his form. Even so, Reynoso remains undeterred and is convinced that Canelo will knock Crawford out. Speaking with Eli Sekbach of S News, Reynoso made it clear that he sees a knockout as inevitable. "We're going to win by knockout," he declared when asked about the fight. However, when pressed on which round the knockout would come, Reynoso declined to specify. "Whichever round it may be, but we're going to knock him out this time."
It's a good fighter, a great fighter, but Canelo the best.
Es un tremendo peleador. Crawford es un gran boxeador, muy completo, pero ese día van a ver otro Canelo.
He's a great fighter. Crawford's a great fighter, but that day he's facing Canelo.
That is true. Thank you, Eddie. Congratulations on the big win. Undisputed again.
Thank you.
Acknowledging Crawford's skill, Reynoso admitted, "Crawford is a tremendous fighter. Very complete, but that day, you're going to see a different Canelo." With this statement, Reynoso dismissed concerns surrounding Alvarez's underwhelming fight against Skull, where critics pointed to his unusually low punch output. Even Alvarez himself called the fight boring, having thrown just 152 punches compared to Skull's 293. Looking ahead to his showdown with Crawford, Canelo promised, "I hope September brings a different kind of fight." While Reynoso is brimming with confidence, some experts believe Crawford has a legitimate path to victory. Former trainer Jeff Mayweather believes Bud's best shot is keeping his distance and avoiding a slugfest with Alvarez.
Canelo is also a great fighter but he owns that weight class that he's in. So I would just say that I think that Crawford has to fight almost a perfect fight to win, and take advantage of Canelo's mistakes.
Trainer Derek Bozy Ennis echoed this sentiment, saying that if Crawford can frustrate Canelo and control the pace, he could pull off an upset victory. Predicting a winner remains difficult, but one thing is certain: if the fight delivers, the fans will be the real winners. Also, former World Boxing Association super lightweight champion Rolando "Rolly" Romero isn't sold on the matchup, not because it's happening, but because of how he sees it playing out.
Done in a very long time.
Careful now. You are picking him to beat Bud, right?
Yeah, I'm picking him to beat Bud, but that doesn't mean anything.
But you're right. You're right. Like, what is he? I mean,
Now, Romero has opinions about Canelo's next fight and his opponent Crawford, and he is not afraid to say it out loud. While appearing on the Pound for Pound podcast, Romero quickly threw Terence Crawford in the same pile as Devin Haney. When asked about the 37-year-old's chances of winning against Canelo, Romero confidently claimed, "They have weight divisions for a reason. Clearly, the 29-year-old is Team Canelo in the debate. But when co-host Henry Cejudo interjected, pressing him about the success boxing's only 8-division champion, Manny Pacquiao, had traversing weight classes throughout his career, Romero had a simple explanation.
Fight ever, it might be the best fight ever, but I will tell you this, it's not a fight I truly care about. Crawford's not really entertaining, so I don't really care about who he fights. But I will tell you like this, he's a tremendous fighter, he's a great fighter, but he's not really entertaining outside the ring. There's nothing that makes me want to be like, I can't wait to see the next Terence Crawford fight.
Manny Pacquiao didn't move up 3 weight divisions at once, Romero said, highlighting Crawford's jump from welterweight to super middleweight. However, there might be an issue with Romero's point here because the Filipino legend did move up 3 divisions after his second career loss to Bunsay Sangsurat. Pacquiao went from losing a fight at flyweight to fighting and winning the WBC International Super Bantamweight title in December 1999 against Reynante Jamili in a massive jump up 3 weight classes. Romero was then asked to explain his prediction.
They have weight divisions for a reason, right or wrong?
Manny Pacquiao, bro.
Okay.
What's your take on Manny?
Pacquiao didn't move up 3 weight divisions at once.
Okay.
Fight a pound for pound fighter.
Okay, so Canelo's got it. How does Canelo get it done?
I don't know, man. It might be the boringest fight ever.
I don't know, man. It might be the boringest fight ever. It might be the best fight ever, he shared. He explained that he didn't really care about Crawford's fights in general because Crawford is not really entertaining. Despite this, Romero praised Crawford for his raw boxing talent. It's worth noting that Canelo's fight against William Skull exposed some chinks in his armor. He's no longer as light on his feet and struggles to cut off the ring as effectively, flaws that Terence Crawford, with his slick, elusive style, would likely exploit. Regardless, Romero holds a similar opinion to Devin Haney, suggesting he sees Crawford and Haney as cut from the same cloth.
Why? Like, Canelo, is it because of the last fight? Like you haven't been a fan of Canelo, or like why? Like you like Crawford that much? Tip your coffee.
What Canelo did on that day was disrespectful to boxing. It was just simply disrespectful to boxing in every way.
Rolly Romero isn't interested in facing Devin Haney anytime soon, claiming the former undisputed champion doesn't bring enough excitement or star power to warrant a big fight. Fresh off his stunning victory over Ryan Garcia in Times Square, Romero told TMZ Sports that Haney simply doesn't move the needle. Haney wasn't a big fighter to begin with, Romero said. He wasn't a big fighter when he fought Ryan, and he's definitely not a big fighter after he just became a track star. Referring to Haney's defensive style, Romero questioned the appeal of a matchup with him, asking bluntly,
Canelo lost a lot of fans this weekend. He's the first Mexican I've ever seen that doesn't know how to cut off the ring.
Benavidez fights entertaining. Woo! Oh, dude, that's a Mexican monster. Ooh, they call him the Mexican monster because everybody's scared of him.
So, you tell me, real quick, are you excited to see anybody fight Devin Haney? Instead, Romero appears more interested in a rematch with Gervonta Davis, stating he's a completely different fighter since their 2022 clash. For now, he's enjoying the high of his career-defining win, still waiting to celebrate properly. That said, Canelo Alvarez still appears to have supporters following his performance against William Skull earlier this month. But do you agree with Romero's take that Terence Crawford is boring? Ryan Garcia has made his opinion clear regarding a potential matchup between boxing champions Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, leaving no room for ambiguity.
What about Canelo and Crawford? What do you think?
That's going to be a great fight, too. I can't believe they made that happen. Turkey's been making a lot of great fights happen. You can't really hate on it. But I'm excited for that. I know Canelo is so big, so strong, and I think he'll be just too big. I mean, weight classes matter for a reason.
Last question, Ali. He said...
In a recent interview, Garcia, known for his controversial comments, called Crawford an overhyped bum and insisted that Alvarez would come out victorious if the two were to meet in the ring. Garcia, speaking to Seichi's TV, did not hold back. He accused Crawford of being a boring fighter, claiming he doesn't deserve the attention he receives and that he's simply stealing boxing's money.
Terence Crawford really hasn't beat nobody other than Errol Spence Jr. that went through a car crash. Name one guy that he beat other than Errol Spence. That's well known. Sean Porter, that was from Wash. Who has he beat? He hasn't beat nobody, bro. He's not gonna beat nobody, bro. Terence Crawford is all right, bro. Terence Crawford is not no, he ain't like that, bro. Terence Crawford is an overhyped bum, bro. I'm sorry. Somebody gotta say it. You're overhyped bum, bro. I'm looking at the camera right now.
The young fighter currently serving a doping ban even went as far as to challenge Crawford, saying, "Come see me in the ring if you think I'm talking expletives." Garcia's remarks were particularly bold given his current suspension and the controversy surrounding his failed drug test earlier this year. Unsurprisingly, Garcia was unequivocal in his verdict and even called out one of the superstars to fight him if he disagreed.
I can do it anytime.
You think you can see Crawford?
I can definitely see Crawford, bro. What do you mean? I've seen many fighters like him too. He's not that good, bro. He gets hit a lot, bro. He gets wobbled, hit, bro. He's not untouchable, bro. You act like he's Mayweather. He ain't Mayweather, bro. I don't think that he's not a great fighter, but I don't think he's as good as people. You know, not Tommy Hearns. You can't do that because he's not like that, bro. He hasn't fought nobody that has firepower like him.
Who would win, him or Boots?
I like Boots, in my opinion. I mean, I like Boots. I don't think Crawford could keep up with somebody that talented and young and fast. I haven't even seen him fight somebody talented, young and fast. Can you name one? I think
Terence Crawford is not like that, Garcia told Say Cheese TV. Terence Crawford is an overhyped bum. I'm sorry, but somebody has got to say it. You're an overhyped bum. I'm looking at the camera right now. You freaking suck, bro. Stop acting like you're like that. Stop stealing boxing's money, wasting everybody's money. You're not entertaining. You're boring as hell. Come see me in the ring if you think I'm talking nonsense. I can do it anytime, bro. But that hasn't stopped him from remaining confident. A fight against Crawford could take place at some stage. I could definitely see Crawford. What do you mean? Garcia said.
Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford. Why Terence Crawford?
I don't think he's as good as people say he is. I mean, you could debate me on that. I think I'm a better fighter, faster, stronger. I'm in my prime. He didn't look good his last fight. I can fight him at 154 if he wants it.
So you truly think that Terence Crawford's overrated?
I do.
I was one of the best fighters in the amateurs, bro. He was too. I've seen many fighters like him. I don't care if he can take away my left hook. I can find a way to get him. He's not that good. He gets hit a lot. He gets hit and gets wobbled. He's not untouchable. In the event a fight between Garcia and Crawford materializes, it would almost certainly take place at a catchweight. This time, his target is Terence Crawford, who has been seeking a fight with Canelo Alvarez in 2025, although the Mexican fighter has yet to accept the challenge.
Well, he's never lost, but you think he doesn't have any quality wins?
I don't think he's ever fought a generational talent ever in his life.
Well, and you're that guy.
Of course.
You think you're the first guy to give Terence Crawford his first loss?
Yes.
Ryan Garcia claims he has already called Bud to request a fight, with the intent of proving that Crawford isn't as good as people believe, taunting him with the possibility of a big payday. As for Bud Crawford, I already called him. I think he's just trying to get a fight with Canelo Alvarez. I don't think that's going to happen, Garcia said. Have you ever fought someone who has one-punch knockout power? No, that's why I think Bud Crawford is overrated. I'd love to fight Bud. I don't think he's as good as people say. If Bud is listening, I'd like to fight you. I'd give you a beating, Garcia stated, referring to the undefeated Crawford, who is the WBC and WBO welterweight champion.
Canelo, back to Canelo. Would you rather see him fight a Terence Crawford or Benavidez?
We were talking about Terence. Who?
Well, you know, the casual fan, they don't care about weight classes. They just know the names. Crawford, Canelo. They want to see it.
Crawford cares about his life. And with that fight, what do that fight do for Canelo? Fighting Crawford and Crawford beats Canelo. What do that do for Canelo? I just think that there are so many other fights to make.
King Ryan left the decision up to Crawford about whether the fight would happen, but made it clear that if the undefeated champion accepted, he would receive a significant payday. If he doesn't want it, it's not my fault. He's boring as hell, but I'd probably give him the biggest paycheck of his life if he takes the fight, Garcia stated. Roy Jones, being one of the most dominant boxers of his era, remains invested in the careers of the new generation of boxing stars. Among them, Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez stand out as two of today's best pound-for-pound fighters. The idea of a potential matchup between the two has captured the imagination of boxing fans worldwide.
That's realistic. It makes sense. And less life risking on top of the risk that we risk stepping in there with guys our weight. And now you want me to do something. Canelo's not coming down to 60.
No. it's Crawford who wants it. He wants the chance to prove he's the best.
I get it.
This era.
I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
I get it.
Right.
And and again, that's one of what's happening.
Terence Crawford, a 4-division world champion, has expressed his interest in facing Canelo, the reigning super middleweight king. However, the weight disparity between the two poses a significant challenge for the American fighter. In an interview with Mill City Boxing, Jones Jr. shared his perspective on this hypothetical clash. While praising Crawford's talent and skills, the legendary boxer leaned toward Canelo as the favorite.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What he got to prove to Boots? Boots trying to take over and start beating the guys around him, prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy.
I like Terence, but I'm going to lean towards Canelo with his size early. But if he lets Terence get into the fight, Terence is going to be a problem. If Terence can deal with the size, he will beat him. Jones Jr. emphasized the importance of Canelo's punching power as a decisive factor in the fight. That's what I'm saying. We don't know until we see Terence get hit, because we haven't seen him get hit with that power, Jones Jr. said. That's the deciding factor. If you can change Bud's fight plan, you've got a chance of beating him. But if you can't hurt him, you can't change his fight plan, and you've got problems. This analysis underscores Crawford's need to neutralize Canelo's renowned power.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What he got to prove to Boots? Boots trying to take over and start beating the guys around him, prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy.
If Crawford can impose his technical boxing skills and avoid Canelo's devastating punches, he could stand a chance of pulling off a historic upset. While the potential fight between Canelo and Crawford remains a dream scenario for fans, Canelo Alvarez is currently focused on preparing for his next bout. International Boxing Federation interim champion William Skull has been mentioned as a possible opponent. This wasn't always the case for Roy Jones Jr., though. The Hall of Fame fighter and current promoter, trainer, and respected analyst Roy Jones Jr. had earlier shared scenarios in which he sees both Terence Crawford and David Benavidez beating Alvarez before going against his former prediction.
Yes, but not right now. I want to see him. I want to see Crawford come up with some weight classes and show he can be dominant at 54. You understand me?
That fight will go Crawford and
Crawford won a pound best fighter fight. I mean, it'll be tough. But right now, that's going to be a tough fight for both fighters. We got to see how Crawford carries the weight.
What about Jamal? Based on what you saw from Canelo, how does he match?
He began with David Benavidez saying, it's a tough fight to call because Benavidez throws a lot of punches. Sometimes power can intervene and make that a different situation, Jones said in an interview with BoxingScene.com. The problem is Canelo willing to take the risk? I don't really think he will right now because I don't think he feels like he has a reason to. If he can't hurt Benavidez early in the first 3 or 4 rounds, I don't see him winning that fight. The 2-time 168-pound titleist Benavidez has been pounding the table for a crack at Alvarez over the last 2 years.
He showed, he fought the proper fight for the proper opponent. When you fight a guy coming up 2 weight classes, you're supposed to bully him. If he'd fought Floyd Mayweather that way back in the day, we saw a much better fight. But he didn't. But he's learned now, and that shows you that he's improved and he understands boxing more now because he bullied the smaller guy, which is what you're supposed to do. What you say?
What about Crawford?
Formerly recognized as the best welterweight in the world, Crawford is open to moving up 2 weight classes for the chance at clashing with the Mexican star. Alvarez, meanwhile, maintains that a win against Crawford would do little for his legacy, even though many are giving Crawford a real chance to score the win. If anybody can do it and pull it off, it's Crawford, so you can't tell him no, said Jones. I was the kind of guy that if someone said they were better than me, and if I can get close to your weight, here I come. I gave John Ruiz 33 pounds when I won the heavyweight title in 2003. I didn't care. I wanted to prove that I was pound for pound the best, and to do something historic that had never been done.
It's a hard one to call, and I'm going to tell you why it's a hard one to call. It's a hard one to call because it'll all be predicated upon how Canelo approaches the fight. If Canelo approaches the fight like he's the man and he can box and outbox Terence Crawford, he'll get beat.
If he comes out and shows that he really wants to go out and prove the world that he's still the best, he might win. So it all depends on which Canelo come to the dance.
That's probably how Bud feels right now. He wants to do something historic to solidify his legacy in boxing. Who doesn't want to see the pound-for-pound best from yesterday fight the pound-for-pound best from today? Who wouldn't want to see that fight? It's a mega fight. If he puts the muscle and weight on, how can you doubt him? One thing that's for sure is that he's going to go out there and fight and not just collect a paycheck. He's going to go out there and try to win the fight because that's who Bud is. If he carries the weight, it'll be a good fight. He can box just like Floyd Mayweather, and he can also fight. He hits and doesn't get hit. If he can take the punch at that weight, he'll probably win the fight.
Bud, Canelo, done deal. Looks like the fight is signed. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
Man, it's a great fight for boxing. I know people don't agree with it, but if Canelo fights one increment of the wrong fight, he's gonna lose. If he comes out and fights the right fight, it's gonna be a tough one. So right now, I think it's gonna be either way, but it depends on what type of fight Canelo fights.
You've been a guy that's moved up in weight class. How do you think Terence Crawford should handle the weight? Should he come in lighter? Should he come right around the weight limit?
Come in as big as he can get. If you get to the weight limit, because there is a weight limit, get to the weight limit.
Jones, who fluctuated in weight during the latter half of his career as a 4-division title holder, said Alvarez should continue his career moving forward at super middleweight. It's definitely best that Alvarez stays at 168. I didn't understand why he went to 175 to fight Dmitry Bivol anyway, said Jones. He had already beaten Sergey Kovalev, who was at the end of his career. Bivol was in the middle of his. They are two different animals. He got the crusher at the right time. Go back down and dominate where you are at. Don't try to fight another one, because lightning ain't going to strike twice. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.